Hey, seventh graders. So in our new chapter, we've looked on what are minerals. We looked at classifications of rocks. We looked at, last time, igneous rocks. Now we're looking at the next type of rock, which is sedimentary rocks. So our My Planet Diary is a career called The Cutting Edge. If you had to carve tools out of stone, would you know which rocks to use? Dr. Beverly Chiarulli, an archaeologist at Indiana University of Pennsylvania, studies stone tools that were used by people in Pennsylvania 10,000 years ago. Now that's not quite right as far as the number, because we know that the Earth is only 8 to 10,000 years old, and Pennsylvania hasn't been around that whole time. So Dr. Chiarulli has found that these people crafted spearheads out of the sedimentary rocks called chert and jasper. Chert is hard and has a very fine texture. It is brittle, but does not fracture along thin, even planes. So chert can be shaped somewhat easily by flaking off chips, producing the sharp edges needed for spearheads. So what properties of chert allow it to be carved into sharp spearheads? It is hard, has a fine texture, and does not fracture along thin, even planes. So 3 key questions today. How do sedimentary rocks form? What are the 3 major types of sedimentary rocks? All right, so sorry, again, our questions. How do sedimentary rocks form? What are the 3 major types of sedimentary rocks? And how are sedimentary rocks used? So we have our first vocab word, and that's sediment. Small, solid pieces of material that come from rocks or the remains of organisms. They're earth materials deposited by erosion. So most sedimentary rocks are formed through a sequence of processes: weathering, erosion, deposition, compaction, and cementation. Weathering is the chemical and physical processes that break down rock and other substances. Erosion is the process by which water, ice, wind, or gravity moves weathered particles of rock and soil. Deposition is the process in which sediment is laid down in new locations. Compaction, the process by which sediments are pressed together under their own weight. And cementation, the process by which dissolved minerals crystallize and glue particles of sediment together into one mass. I will probably put all 5 of these on your assignment as matching. So next, the 3 major groups of sedimentary rocks are clastic rocks, organic rocks, and chemical rocks. Those 3 will also probably be on there with their definitions for matching. So a clastic rock is a sedimentary rock that forms when rock fragments are squeezed together under high pressure. So we have shale, sandstone, conglomerate, and breccia here. Organic rock, sedimentary rock that forms from remains of organisms deposited in thick layers. Coal, which you see over here, forms from the remains of swamp plants buried in water. Limestone forms in the ocean, where many living things, such as coral, clams, and oysters, have hard shells or skeletons made up of calcite. And the other one, chemical rock, is sedimentary rock that forms when minerals crystallize from a solution. Limestone, that forms when calcite that is dissolved in lake, seas, or underground water comes out of a solution and forms crystals. So people have used sedimentary rocks throughout history for many different purposes, including for tools and building materials, as you heard about in the My Planet Diary. So sandstone and limestone have been used as building materials for thousands of years. Both are soft enough to be cut easily into blocks or slabs. And the White House is built of sandstone and limestone. The White House is built of sandstone, and limestone is used in making cement and steel. So our vocab: sediment, small solid pieces of material that come from rocks or the remains of organisms. Earth materials deposited by erosion. Weathering is the chemical and physical processes that break down rock and other substances. Erosion, the process by which water, ice, wind, or gravity moves weathered particles of rock and soil. Deposition, process in which sediment is laid down in new locations. Compaction, the process by which sediments are pressed together under their own weight. Cementation, the process by which dissolved minerals crystallize and glue particles of sediment together into one mass. Clastic rock, sedimentary rock that forms when rock fragments are squeezed together under high pressure. Organic rock, sedimentary rock that forms from remains of organisms deposited in thick layers. And chemical rock, sedimentary rock that forms when minerals crystallize from the solution. We'll probably also put one of each of their types. So we'll go back to those quick. So plastic was shale, sandstone, conglomerate, or breccia. Organic, coal or limestone. And chemical could be limestone. So I'll probably put one of each of those on there also. So if I put limestone on, it's probably for chemical rock and not for organic. So that's two of them right there. I'll put coal for organic, limestone for chemical. All right, so your assignment is to complete the Edmodo questions for lesson 4. As always, let me know if you have any questions. Have a good day.